Thanks, Lem. Brilliant. Lem once said to me, he said to me, well, actually when he was up with on the expedition, he said, look, climate's about race. And I went, okay, it took me, And he's right, it is. I mean, the people who are suffering the most in the world right now are the ones who actually didn't cause climate or are not causing climate change hardly at all. It is about, it's about a lot of people who are completely disenfranchised into this debate. And it's really important. It's difficult to see on the image there, but in 2009 we had an expedition from the top of the Andes to the headwaters of the Amazon through the cloud forests. And it was based with the scientists from the ECI here. But before we started, we went to visit the glaciers right on the top of the Andes. And what you're looking at there is one of the last of the glaciers that are pretty much no longer there. Now, the knock-on effect of this is if you take major cities like Lima or the whole Peru kind of farming basin or Bolivia, where is their water going to come from? They are totally dependent on glacial ice melt for their water. And you can suddenly see the clock ticking at an amazingly fast speed to say, well, wait a minute, there's something really drastic going on. And if you are ever in, we've seen it in the Arctic, when you go and you have a chart and you go around the corner again 8 years later on, and the glaciers just disappeared. But it's something about this glacier just disappearing, which just really sort of took you through to the stomach. It was part of the ECI that we were up there with, and this is Yadvinder, who was one of the deputy directors of the ECI. So it's a little short piece of film, and this is kind of
if it can be done well, putting carbon into slowing down deforestation or conserving rainforests is a very ethical way of tackling climate change. There's loads of additional benefits compared to others that you can preserve, you can improve local livelihoods, you preserve biodiversity, all the other climate functions of a rainforest, like the rainfall generation, get preserved. Deforestation is around 10 to 15% of the global problem in terms of carbon dioxide emissions. So it has to be 10 to 15% of the solution.
It was a very interesting expedition for us that actually, we actually engaged with the cloud forests and the biodiversity and loss of biodiversity, and actually how it's being measured and how it's dealt with. And again, led by the scientists, the amount of artistic output from that expedition was really quite extraordinary. So again, another process going forward. Next person I'm going to introduce, in a theme of trees, is Heather Ackroyd. Heather and Dan is part of a duo of Dan Harvey and Heather Ackroyd, and they've both been with us, I think, on about 3 or 4 expeditions and have produced an amazing amount of art. So Heather, please take the stage.